I made millions of dollars and I spent millions of dollars. Making millions of dollars doesn't mean anything if you don't have $1 million to show. My name is Damien Escobar. I make music and I play the violin. I'm from an area in New York called South Jamaica, Queens. When you think about South Jamaica, Queens, you think about some of the greatest hip-hop artists who have ever lived. How the hell did I end up playing the violin? I kind of compare it to a flower grown out of concrete. So I started playing violin when I was 8 years old. By 9 years old, I was accepted into Juilliard. Graduated when I was 12. Started playing the violin on the subways for money. I was a classical violinist at that point. My brother was playing hip-hop. Somebody invited him to play at this small club in New York. And he said, I can't go out there by myself. And I was like, what do you want me to do? I don't play hip hop. And he was like, I'll play this hip hop music. Why don't you just add the classical thing you do on top? So we did that and the crowd went crazy. When we got off stage, in that moment, I knew we had something special. And then by the time I was 17, my brother and I, we formed a group called Nothing But Strings. And then things got crazy. We became like this overnight phenomenon. So I saw the auditions for America's Got Talent, and we ended up taking third. It gave us the exposure we needed on a global stage. And we took that energy and ran with it, man. And we were getting like 10 million hits on our website every time we did a national show. And people were just crazy over it. 3 months later, made my first $1 million. That kicked off an incredible run for 10 years. I mean, that included everything from Emmy Awards, playing at inaugural balls, playing for 3 different presidents, commercials, movies, and we went from living in College Point, Queens, and at the back of someone's house to a 5,500 square foot home on Long Island, neighbors to LL Cool J. I was the agent, I was the manager. For us, it was like the water that wouldn't turn off unless we turned it off. Like you see yourself in a McDonald's commercial, you getting asked to perform for President Obama during the inauguration. Things were beautiful. I thought it'll never end. My focus at that time was money, man. How can I keep on making money? How can I keep on making money? How can we keep on making money? It was addictive. We were just removed from the hood. It was like, I'm never going back there. Whatever we had to do to make sure we can keep on living the dream that every young black kid from the inner city wants to live. We want fast cars, we want jewelry, we want all these things that we never had. We thought that was success. And it was great and incredibly depressing at the same time. I wasn't happy, man. Like, yo, you would look into in my life and be like, oh, he has it all. You know, I was miserable. It was just too much too soon. I didn't even know who I was. It was just so much pressure to be perfect. The only thing that brought me joy was winning, was success. I was confused, and my confusion turned into depression. Things started to deteriorate between my brother and I. As people, we were just growing in a different direction. I had a daughter at that time. My brother, you know, he was a rock star. Even I was a rock star at that point. And, you know, we got to do an album. We couldn't agree on it. Musically, we wanted to do different things. So when we broke up, like a lot of bands, it was just where things were at that point. I know it was a lot on me, and I'm sure it was a lot on him. And it wasn't a pleasant breakup. It was a breakup for my brother. So it was heavy for me. It really impacted me. But you're not really thinking about the lasting impact. Again, you're young. At this point, I was still early 20s. I didn't realize that if I break up with my brothers, you know, the money goes with it, the opportunity, the success, everything goes with it. I was running out of money, you know, and I still had all my bills. I was still in my apartment overlooking the water. I was still trying to maintain a certain lifestyle, not tell people where I fell off, and I spent all my money. Next thing you know, I'm falling behind. I stopped paying the rent. Next thing you know, I'm getting evicted. I was like, holy. And next thing I know, I wake up and I'm in a welfare office, you know, trying to figure out how I'm going to feed my daughter. They say that when God wants you to grow, he makes you very uncomfortable. I remember sitting in the welfare office and I saw my commercial come on the TV, and I'm like, really, God? Like this is the sign you want to give me? It was a low point for me, without a doubt. I was like, nope, I'm still gonna keep doing it my way. I didn't tell my mom what was going on, and I said everything's okay. And I remember sleeping from couch to couch. I couch surfed. I slept on the trains. I did everything I had to do except go home. I didn't want to go back to my old neighborhood. We were heroes. I tell people all the time to this day, check on your strong friends. You know, like the ones that everyone else runs to. That seems like they have it all together. You know, those are the ones I need the most. I've always been that guy, like, I got it. Put it on me, like I can do it. And I suffered in silence. Like I just suffered. Told everybody everything was all right. I got it. So I kind of did that for about 3 months until I realized I gotta go home. And I went home. When you're a young artist, you're leaning on other people to make you feel complete. You need everyone else's eyes to feel seen. And then when you lose it, you don't know who you are. Like, my life became centered around just the pressure to be great, especially from a young age, man. Like 8 years old, 9 years old, and like people calling you prodigy, and you don't want to let people down. There's no sense of who you are, what makes you happy. The only time I was happy was when I was getting booked. I was just depressed, man. I slept on my mom's couch for like 4 months. About month 3, my daughter walks by me on the couch, and she's looking at me, she's like, so daddy, what are we gonna do now? I didn't have an answer. So I had no idea what we were gonna do. But I knew in that moment that I had this young girl looking at me, and she needed me to be a hero. I said, okay, I gotta do something. I gotta get off my mama's couch. And I did. I said, I always had a passion for real estate. So I got back into school, got my license, and gave me an enormous amount of confidence, and I got my first job. I didn't sell a thing. I got to work late one day. My supervisor said to me, look, Damien, I don't care who you used to be, but if you show up here late one more time, you can't work here anymore. She said, don't come back. The thing with me, like, I'm so competitive. Like, when someone challenges me in a sense and says I used to be this or this and that, it fires me up. I went home, I picked my violin up, I quit real estate, and I was in my mom's basement. I built out a little studio, and I had no fans. No one knew me as Damien Escobar. So I made a little Facebook page, I made a little Instagram page. I knew how to do it. Like, I knew the blueprint. I was a manager. So I started doing little hip hop freestyles on the internet and releasing it. No traction. Started getting, I wouldn't even call it success, but enough for me to get, it was just small victories. Success is, you know, when preparation meets opportunity and luck. One of the videos that I had online went viral. It went viral. And when I saw that happen, I knew what to do with that energy. That's when things really got pretty awesome for me. Went around to every country you can imagine and performed. When I lost everything, that person died and another man was reborn. I learned that life is about community. It's such a beautiful thing, you know, just to bring people together. If 80 people shows up to my show, cool, we gonna party like it's 10,000 in here. Every time I do it, like it doesn't get old to me. It's amazing, the stories are amazing. You know, I was stage 4 cancer and you got me through chemo. I was gonna commit suicide and your music saved my life. You know, like, damn, man. It's so crazy that confidence comes from failure. Like, it's bizarre. I love the faceplant moments. They make me who I am. If you get knocked down and you get back up, best believe you got back up a lot stronger.